Hello, everyone. I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shikha, and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate the support. And in this one, I wanted to speak to you about decision making. I've been having a little bit of a difficult time recently with regards to decision making because what I think I'm doing is that I am trying to avoid listening to my heart and what it's saying and listen to my mind instead. And I notice this a lot in the way I do things, in the way I've done things all of my life, really, that I ignore what my heart wants to do and then I run towards what my mind wants to go do, like what my intelligent mind thinks we should be doing or I should be doing, right? And I noticed that this results in a lot of issues for me because my mind always consciously wants to do things that are related to money and materialism. So in general, my mind is very focused on making money or creating money or working or materialistic things. Really, I noticed that a lot of my mind and my thought processes move towards that. I'm not saying it's a negative thing or anything. It's just the way it's been set up, my conditioning, my programming, and all that. But I do notice that. So my mind constantly moves towards materialism, and I notice that my heart constantly moves towards connection and spirituality. And in a lot of cases, for example, if I was kind of sitting there and thinking, okay, what should I do with my day today? My mind would say, okay, work on something that's going to make you money. You know, whatever it might be, doesn't really matter. I have 100 different things I could be doing to make money, right? And so my mind's going to be like, all right, do something that makes you money. And if I stopped and took a deep breath and I asked my heart what I should do, it would be go sit by the sunset and watch the sunset, or go spend some time with your family, or slow down and just be, or do a meditation, or I don't know, read a book or something like that, right? And it's interesting because, of course, like perhaps if we lived in an ideal world, maybe we could listen to the heart all the time. Or maybe it's the fact that I haven't listened to my heart so much that my heart always, whenever asked, asks to do things that it wants to do. Like I imagine that if I was pretty balanced and I didn't always listen to my mind and I listened to my heart and mind together all the time in a balanced fashion, that I didn't pay attention to one more than the other, I imagine that my heart wouldn't always tell me to relax and slow down and watch the sunset or be. But because I haven't listened to my heart at all for years and years and years and years and years, that now whenever it tells me, whenever I ask it, it's like, yeah, just slow down, man. And for me, I'm thinking to myself, but come on, I have to live in the real world. I need to make money in order to live. I need to care about the materialistic things. I need to focus on what I can do in order to survive in this world. Come on, right? Of course, I think in my head I'm way too exaggerated and way too focused on materialism, even though I'm not, which is really the funny thing because I'm not really focused, but I am, right? Like I don't really care much about stuff, but I do really care about my freedom, and a lot of my freedom, I imagine, comes from money, and a lot of it probably does, but not all of it, right? And so, of course, it's very complicated and very intricate, and it's a complex system of thoughts and processes to unentangle. It's going to take a long time to unentangle because it took a long time to get tangled up, right? It's like those headphone sets that you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to untangle it. And you just want to give up on it. And then, but like little by little, over 15 minutes, you were able to untangle it and it's perfectly untangled now. But it took time and effort and patience and concentration. And so that's what I noticed for myself as well, is that there is a lot of focus and concentration and patience that I need in order to figure out, okay, So, should I listen to my heart right now or should I listen to my mind? Now, as I said, if I was balanced, my heart would also be sometimes telling me, yeah, you know what? Work on your stuff that you love to do so much. Yeah, let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's work on your project. But as I said, because I have not listened to my heart for so long, it constantly just wants to slow down. It constantly wants to just relax and be and not do anything, right? Because I haven't allowed it to express itself for so long. I have beaten it down and ignored its wishes and ignored its needs for so long that whenever asked, it always wants to be like, yeah, let's do something not as strenuous. Let's relax. Let's chill out. Now the reason I'm doing this video is because I'm sure, maybe I'm sure. No, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't make assumptions. Maybe you're in the same boat. Maybe you don't listen to your heart. Maybe you listen to your mind only. And considering the world we live in, actually it's more rewarded to listen to your mind rather than to your heart. So I would imagine that you're doing the same, right? Maybe not. Maybe you are in your heart a lot and you're able to listen to it and you are good with that and great. And if you are, I'm really, really happy that you are. But if not, then I would say that one of the ways to do it is to slow down, really, actually. One of the main things your heart is always going to tell you to do is slow down. And one of the main things your mind is always going to tell you is to hurry up, to rush, to stampede through everything, to run, to be impatient, to not trust, right? And as I said, the heart always tells you to slow down, but also to trust, to surrender, to relent, to be softer. Yeah. And I do notice that in my life, I have been a very hard person in my life, and I'm still extremely hard, I think. But the more hard work I do, the more I notice I'm becoming softer and softer and softer. But not in a negative way. You know, I always think, oh my God, if I become soft, everyone's gonna just trample all over me. But I notice that it's not even possible for anyone to trample over me because I just know what I want. And my heart's so clear about what it wants. And so it can just keep on going without any, it doesn't matter what anyone else says, right? It'll just keep on going on its path. So I wanted to say that if you do notice that you don't listen to your heart, or maybe you don't listen to it enough, that one of the best ways I've found for myself, as I said, is to slow down. To take a deep breath, actually, is the best thing, really. When I notice myself, you know, kind of tensing up, when I notice myself rushing through things, when I notice myself becoming impatient with someone or something, with some situation, when I notice myself contracting rather than expanding, when I notice myself not paying attention to my surroundings, to the beauty around me, and then just becoming very focused on my work, like there might be a beautiful sunset out there and I'm just ignoring it in order to be like, oh my God, what am I doing next? I have to do this work and I have to check this box off, things like that. Then I know that I need to take a deep breath, right? And I'm sure you're very aware of it as well. You're like, all right, stop it, stop being in your head. And then you take a deep breath. Much deeper than this, but you take a deep breath and you stop for a second, just a second. You don't have to stop for long, 5 seconds, stop for 5 seconds. And ask your heart what it wants to do. Yeah, ask your heart what it wants to do. And for me, what I notice is that, as I said, a lot of times my heart will tell me to slow down, to trust, to believe, to have faith that everything that's happening is actually meant to happen. And there's no need to resist it. There's no need to be worried about it. There's no need to be anxious about anything because everything's happening exactly how it's supposed to. Exactly how it's supposed to. There's nothing to worry about. God knows, the universe knows, the higher entities know. They know more than you ever will know. I'm sure. And they know what needs to happen next. They know. You don't need to know why or how. They know and they're doing it and it's happening. And if it's happening, it's meant to happen. And if it's happening and meant to happen, then you don't need to resist it. You can just relax into it. Just relax into it. Yeah, and this is usually almost always the lesson or the feedback I get from my heart. Every single time, that's the lesson I get from my heart. Just relax. Everything's fine. Everything's happening as it should. You don't need to hurry things up. You don't need to force things to happen faster than they are because it won't do anything and you're just going to waste your energy. Just relax. Everything's happening as it should. Just take a deep breath and calm down and come into the present moment. And every single time, as I said, this is the lesson, this is the feedback I get from my heart and basically from the universe, I would say. And then I do that, I take a deep breath, I relax, and I'm able to come into my heart and I realize, okay, yeah, everything is okay. I have lots of time to do everything and everything's fine and everything's moving along as it should. And I have nothing to worry about. I can just trust and have faith. And I can slow down and I can pay attention to what's going on around me. And if it's sunset I'm sitting next to or in front of, I can actually start paying attention to it instead of being in my head thinking about the next thing I need to do. So I wanted to share this with you because, as I said, I'm not an expert at all, right? It'll be years before I would even come close to being able to not even perfect this, but become good at it even. I'm terrible at it right now, but I do know, as I said, taking a deep breath, slowing down, and asking my heart the question is extremely useful. And if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to take a deep breath and slow down and ask your heart the question, just slow down, right? And that in itself will give you so much wisdom and insight into what you're supposed to be doing next. So decision making, this is probably not the answer you're looking for, but this is what helps me a lot with decision making. I'll definitely do more videos on this in the future because I'm learning a lot on this subject through my experiences. But if you have questions about this, let me know and I shall do a follow-up video. Again, thank you so much for your support and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.